All right, we're good.
All right, Shalom. The Hebrew Israelites coming in week in and week out to prophesy this wicked kingdom against wicked kingdom, right? AKA Babylon the Great, AKA Sodom and Gomorrah, right? First and foremost, I give up praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Rakakadash. Give them honor to our elders, in Millstone, right? Well, all the brothers pushing this work in sincerity and truth. Shalom. All right? Me and the brothers were talking right before the camera went on. We're just talking about how 2/3 of our people, two-thirds of our people, they're gonna pretty much take that nosedive with Esau, man. Right? Because it's not gonna be a separate judgment. Our people are gonna die with this kingdom because they believe in this kingdom. Right? They believe in this place. Right? All the Edomite ideologies they have, they practice it. Right? Right now, they're not even Israelites, man. They're Israelites by blood, but spiritually, they're dead. Right? Let's start with, all right, bring it up.
So it's Isaiah 30:2. It says, that walk to go down, actually, it's not good. Okay, so the title says, Judah born against Egyptian alliance. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh Yahushai, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin unto sin.
Right, so that's our people, man, rebellious. The Lord pretty much... Yep. Our people, man, they're rebellious, right? And the Lord pretty much compared rebellion to witchcraft, right? They're a bunch of witches, as we know, right? So that's why there's a judgment that comes with rebellion, and there's a judgment that comes with witchcraft, man. It's death. Most of the time, death by fire when it comes to witchcraft, right? So that represents the missile that's about to be dropped, man. Right? We're seeing the warm up right now in Iran and Tel Aviv and all those places. Right? That's gonna come over here. You people think that you're safe. Right? That sacrifice has to happen. But when the Lord talks about that sacrifice in Basra, it's not just talking about Esau, man. Right? Yes, it's mainly for Esau, but guess what? Our people are here too. That's why the elect are gonna be transported out here. Right?
It says, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked in my mouth.
Right, they put their trust, all their trust in this place. Right? Egypt represents bondage. Right? They put their trust in pretty much in rent, work, right? Whatever keeps them afloat in this society, that's what they put their trust in. Mainly Esau, right? The pharaohs of this wicked place, man. Right?
I have a quick point to what you're saying. The Apostle Art had a video where showing Edomites that were pretty much complaining about the groceries going up, the doubling and everything like that.
Gone.
They're complaining about like stuff that Jake's been dealing with.
Yep.
They've been dealing with that. You complain, but not to the degree that these guys are complaining.
Gone.
Right? They're not equipped to deal with stress.
Right.
Right? Because they're weaker people. They're weak in every aspect of the word. Even their own scientists prove that they're weaker than us. Right?
Gone. Yeah, because like the brother mentioned, these are things that we've been dealing with. When you go back to the 1920s, when the stock market crashed, you got Esau jumping out of windows. Just because he lost a couple of $1 million or a couple of $1,000, the business got shut down. Right? He does not want to deal with struggle, he does not want to deal with stress. Right? That's why the Lord made us, we both came out of the same womb.
Exactly.
Right? Two separate people, man. Right? One shall be stronger than the other. Yes, you know what that is? We're stronger, man. Right?
Okay.
For us to go from Judah to the Negroes, you already know what came with that. Right? That came with stress, that came with slavery, that came with death, right? Sickness, diseases, that came with slave ships. Right? And that's just one tribe. We go down to the northern kingdom, right? The manifest destiny. Esau came over here, right, and jacked your northern kingdom up, and now he's showing you again what he's about to do. Deporting you from your own land, right?
It says to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Yeah.
It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shade, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Right, because this place, Esau is going to pretty much turn against two-thirds of our people, man. Right, starting with the women. Right, they're the main ones who put their trust in this place. Right, getting those degrees, those jobs. Right, and now, talking shit about to the men. Right, now we're seeing their jobs are getting taken away. You know what I'm saying? Now they think that, now we need a man again. But we're not playing those games again, man. These men are not playing games because these men now they're seeing like a lick. Right? And all those videos that you made, men saw those videos. Right? And you women are being marked, man. Right? Now you're turning to other women also. But those women can't protect you when it's time. But it's time for men to be men again. Right? That toxic masculinity is going to show, man. That's what you guys call it. We call it testosterone. Right? The Spirit of the Lord is going to be on those men to do whatever they do. Whether it be murder, whether it be rape, right? Whether it be confinement, whatever the case may be. It's a throuple. It's three of them together. I've never seen that one before. It's three women pretty much. Find the camera around. It's a big bash going on in the back there.
The lion, now when they get too old, the young lions chase them off. And they kill all the offspring and reproduce their own.
That's true.
Bunch of animals.
Yeah,
men should be better than that. Men should be better than that.
Some men do this too with the young lion.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever they go into a house where a woman is and her baby,
He's
they
got a
kill
black
her.
mean, he's still young.
Yeah, they kill this.
He's got a lot of
Exactly.
oomph.
It's the representation of us, though.
Yeah. Oh, king of beasts.
Yes, there you go. We're the king of the humans. Yeah.
So it says, jump to verse 7. It says, for the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose.
Right.
Therefore have I cried concerning this, the strength is to sit still. Right? So that's the thing. People think, you guys, I've seen the videos, they're crying, Trump, help us. The prices are too expensive, we can't deal with it. Right? I'm sitting here laughing, and it's like, most artists are going to say, like, good, you guys fucking deserve it. This isn't getting started. This is just the warm up.
Right.
Just getting started, because the curses are now coming onto the fucking other nations.
That's right.
Right? You guys had us in slavery. You guys had us in captivity. We were on the bottom, right? Now the tables are turning. Tables are turning. You can't handle that cup, the dregs of the cup, right? It doesn't taste good to you.
Right.
Well, too bad. You keep drinking it.
And you're crying to Trump, but
Yeah.
it really didn't matter who was in there because this all started when the other opposition was in power.
Exactly.
Right? All this food prices going up was before Trump, but now he's tightening it up even harder, man. Right? It's getting tighter. The squeeze getting tighter.
This is Proverbs chapter 25, verse 19. And it says, confidence in an unfaithful man in a time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. So, somebody like Trump is basically, people are realizing that he's useless because all the promises that he supposedly made and he was going to help you people, especially the Israelites, you trusted in that person, right? And then what happens when you trust in a broken tooth? A broken tooth is useless.
Exactly.
So what do you expect? Broken bone, exactly. You try to put a little bit of weight on it.
That's it.
You can't put weight on it. Exactly. It's useless.
Yeah.
So that's like they're constantly showing you who they really are. However, the Israelites are so far gone, you don't seem to understand that A, you have an enemy, and B, these people don't care about you.
That's right.
The scriptures say that who shall pity a charmer that is bitten by a serpent? How many times, and even another example in Canada, we had the Premier of Ontario, he was making apologies to the so-called Native Americans. How often does this have to happen to you realize, oh, this is a rattlesnake, I don't play with a rattlesnake?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's
Exactly. So now United Kingdom, is starting to see that Esau, Edom hates you. Right? But then the funny thing is, they're blaming all this, the deportation on Trump. They're not saying it's the whole nation of Esau or these Edomites. They're just saying, oh, Donald Trump is pretty much deporting us.
Yeah.
Right? Esau, listen, for you Charles to get it, Esau gonna have to kill you completely. right? Like, and you Negroes, right? You're out here laughing at the Latin tribes. Yes, the Latin tribes hate, they hate niggas, talk shit. But at the end of the day, what they're getting is nothing compared to what you're gonna get. Right?
That's right.
And that's what the Lord said, man. It has to be a breach. The breach has to shut up. That's when King David come back and shut the breach up. The house shall come back and shut the breach up, man. Right? But blood has to spill, man. Fucking niggas, you're gonna learn the hard way. Right? Because they seem to think that they're safe for some reason. I heard a couple of them say, oh, the blacks in America cannot be deported. Well, they don't want you to leave. Right? You remember when Marcus Garvey tried to take a couple of you to Liberia? What happened? They got submarine boats and put holes in the ship, man. They don't want you to leave because if you leave, the whole country shut down. The kingdom is done. Right? That's what the Lord said in you. Right? The whole kingdom of Esau is gonna be blessed. Anywhere that we go, that nation's gonna be blessed. Any single power that rule those four beasts, they rule because we're there. They all had us in captivity. Right? So you can't leave. Okay? Let's say you leave in droves. That's not gonna happen. Airports are gonna shut down. Esau will never let that happen. Right?
There's precious.
Exactly. The precious truth. You treat their shit.
That's what I say. It's like in ancient Egypt, Pharaoh did not want to let most people go.
Exactly.
Because he knew that,
There you go.
that was going to ask it,
Yeah.
The same thing. Now we live in the modern day Egypt because you have the northern tribe, the northern kingdom, and the southern kingdom together. It's the only time they've been together since we were in
Exactly.
Egypt.
Fine.
Now, like you have feeling that pressure again from Pharaoh.
That's right.
And now you're crying towards your fellow brother, like you're crying towards you have these Latino crying to say so-called people say, yeah, like I'm to rob us, like I'm to watch with us. Ultimately,
It's a waste.
yeah, that's because that bridge, right? That bridge. Going into trusting in this place, trusting in this society, even searching for you. But it's been shown to you time and time again that this man is not for you, this man is here wants to keep you down, things will be divided. Okay, and the only way you're not come, the only way you're going to actually learn is through that sword, right? That's what it's coming. Like, even like, I remember it was the elder Malcolm from Chicago saying that the so-called Latino, they get it first, but you like gets it worse.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's worse coming from you so-called
Yeah, because they're pretty much declaring the tribe, the northern kingdom out. So you niggas, they're pretty much sharpening their sword.
No, that's it.
That's all the sword is being refurbished, man. Right? Because remember my grandfather back in the before you go to the mountain, he used to always sharpen his cutlass. You know what I'm saying? Sharpen it. So when he gets to the mountain, he's chopping his good. That's what Esau's doing, man. Right? He's exercising his hatred on another kingdom. So when he gets to the southern kingdom, man, it's a wrap. Practice. Right? He's practicing his hatred.
Also, just to add to what I want to say, Apostle Hart brought up this point, I agree with him. I agree where Trump is trying to upset the prophecies where Judah and Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom come together. So he's trying to get rid of the Northern Kingdom, right? Because the thing is, we have the numbers. If they come and join together, those Edomites in America are fucked.
Yep. Because it's only a matter of time before they start loving each other.
Exactly.
Again. Right? Yes, the Mexicans will talk shit against the so-called blacks. But at the end of the day, their women love us, so that's how they were going to come together.
Exactly.
Through that sex on the planet. But the Lord won't let that happen either. Right? Won't let that happen, man. Because it doesn't make any sense. This guy came into power, and all of a sudden the Mexicans are his enemies.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Right? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we gotta clean up our borders. What? You don't have any fucking borders, man. Scripture talks about you not having any walls, man. Right? You do it carelessly. Now you're talking about borders. That's how you know. He knows the prophecy.
Yeah.
God.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33, and it says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together,
Yep.
and all them that took them captives held them fast, and they refused to let them go."
Yeah, does that sound familiar? The brother talked about Egypt. We're the ones that was there in Egypt.
Right.
right? The Latinos, Native Americans, and the so-called Negroes, man. Right? The West Indians, right? Which are the tribe of Benjamin, the Levites. All of you were there. Right? You're going through the same conditions again. You're groaning again. Right? You're crying on the Lord again. Right? So like the scripture says, there's nothing new under the sun. You know? So we need a deliverer. That's where Yahushua comes in. First back then was Moses. Now Yahushua is going to have to deliver us out of here, man. But before we get out of here, we're going to have to go through all manner of evil, man. Right? You're going to have to see your children starve. You're going to have to see your mother and sister probably taken to concentration camp. Right? So many things that people have to go through before Yahushua comes, because guess what? What did he say? What did the scripture say? You're going to come and wipe away all tears, man. It's not talking about you other nations too. Right? You think that the Lord gives a fuck about like the Iranians being bombed? Right? If the elect are over there, the elect are going to be fine. Right? The rest of your nations, you're just going to take it, man. Because if you think that's bad, what these Amalekites are doing to you, wait until we get our hands on you. Right? We got a kingdom to build, and we got we have to rebuke these other nations, because they're gonna be in their foolishness doing all kind of garbage again after the elect is beamed up. They're gonna be down here building kingdoms, man, doing a bunch of shit, paganic shit, right? We have to smack that out of them. You know what that's gonna look like? It's blood spilling, man. You know, dancing in blood. That's what the scripture says.
Because the first generation, second generation, they're going to be rebellious.
That's right.
Because they still remember how it was before. You know,
They were ruling.
Yeah, they were ruling. You know, they were on top of us. So they're still going to fight back here and there. But then we have to beat that shit out of them. So over each generation, they may realize this is how it is.
Just like now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like now, when you see like these people of this whole LGBT stuff, that generation, man, it's like the one before I didn't know that, but the one now know it. So it's we have to do a reverse beating, you know? Yeah.
If I may add also, it's the same phenomenon if you think about like the so-called Native Americans, and a lot of their children went to those schools, right? They got their language and they got their culture built out of them, and eventually
Eventually they got with it. They start speaking English.
Yeah, exactly, you know?
Eventually you'll start speaking Hebrew. Right? Because those generation gotta go. The old ones gotta go, man. When we come back down, when the elect come back down, those old generations gotta go. They gotta get beat up, right? Keep making children. We're gonna reprogram them, man. We can do it, you know. The Lord can put it in the. They're gonna have spiritual power, the elect. They can do that and have you speaking Hebrew and understand it. But no, we're not gonna do that. It's too easy. You're gonna have to learn this. It's like how when these other nations come over here, they have to learn English even when they don't know one word. Yep. Right? When we come back down, man, the Hebrew's gonna be right there, the real Hebrew. Right? So it's your little babies are gonna learn it, not you. Right? You get the stone, you bring a rock, you bring a piece of tree, or a piece of
we'll go to Washington down in the middle.
plastic. We're not gonna have plastic either, but you bring a piece of wood, we tell you to get stone, you're gonna get beat for that. Tell you to bring nails and you bring a hammer. There's no hammer, you're gonna use your hands. Right?
Yes, we build a hammer.
You gotta build a hammer like Fred Flintstone.
You gotta make one.
It's Isaiah 2:3, and it says, "And many shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the Most High Yahweh of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways." Out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people.
I don't know why these Christians always try to bring these people like this. Is the Lord, they're telling you what the Lord's about to do, man. Right? He's gonna rebuke you heathens, you Gentiles, because you seem to get your panties in a bunch when it comes to the word Gentiles, man. The Gentiles are gonna get their ass whooped, right? You're gonna have to follow the laws. The scripture just talk about the laws. It's not gonna be done away with. The same laws that we're reading right now, right?
Just finishing up, and it says, "And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they burn war anymore.
Right, so none of that Iran versus, well, that land's gonna be gone, right? It's not gonna, you're not gonna have the Edomites rising up against Moab,
Yeah.
right? Better chill,
Yep.
right? You try that shit, you're gonna get beat down, man. Spiritual powers, you're gonna know. Right? You're not gonna have, well, everyone's gonna be known as their, their respective name, right? Everyone's gonna go back to that, right? We're not gonna have these nations fighting against each other, man. First thing first, you're not gonna have any missiles. All that's gonna be burnt up, right? Destroyed. We're gonna come back to swords by the side, us only.
Right.
You know?
Because they're going to go back to farming that land. You're just farming for us. You're building, okay, this land's good at wheat. Okay, you guys can just grow the wheat. And the fruit, maybe in your area you have olive oil, olives and everything.
Yep.
Okay, you guys are growing that. Right? That's all you guys are doing. You're farming for us. We're ruling. We're going to be ruling. Right? We used to flip upside down. You guys are not going to have one. Maybe you even try to use, let's say you try to use your pitchfork.
Gardening tools.
Right, let's say you try to use that. We have spiritual powers. Right. You're not winning.
Well, the first job actually is to cut off all the weapons and burn them out.
Yep.
So, in that process, you gotta know, that's using it. You gotta know,
All these stupid ass guns that Esau made, right? All these missiles, the bombs, all of them are gonna be burnt up.
Right.
You know?
Right.
No, that was it. Just another quick point, if I may add also, with all those ancient techniques, and they're going to actually burn the importance of the law.
Right.
Because in this society, for example, because you mentioned wheat, right? The wheat is what's it called? What's the word? Milled here? It's almost stripped of its minerals.
Right.
It's almost stripped of its the bran and the germ.
Right.
Right? When you need those essential components, right? You need those so you get the fiber, you
Real
get the
bread.
vitamins, right? So you can actually make bread, because bread is an important part of a man's life also. Right?
Exactly.
So you're going to learn the importance of the land sapling. You're going to learn the importance of why the law is needed on the earth. Right?
And you're gonna be grinding it with the mill. You're gonna go right back to the mills, man. That's what the brother mentioned, the germs. Right? Without the mill, you're not gonna get all the nutrients. Now I don't know what the fuck Esau is using now, but everything's being like grinded out.
Distributor.
Yeah.
Reaching in.
When it comes to when you get to your body now, that's why people having like diabetes and all that stuff. It turns into sugar.
Sugar too.
Yeah, it's supposed to, like the brother mentioned, it's supposed to be fiber, so you can go to the washroom.
Because the main thing that Esau already understands is, but like, if your stomach is fucked up, the rest of your body's gonna be fucked up.
That's it. Gut.
Your gut is so important that you fuck that up, everything else is gonna be fucked up.
That's why you see all these girls too. They walk around with acne, and they can't leave the house without makeup.
Makes it worse.
You know, everything starts in the gut. You clean your gut, and all those acne goes away. But guess what? We want you to look hideous. It's okay. We can heal all of you because we have spiritual powers. You know, it's not on that level that we would like it to be right now, but we have spiritual powers, man. We can heal you. You know.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1, and it says, "The Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and he will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined unto them, the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." The strangers say talking about the foreign Israelites, Israelites, foreign, Gentiles,
God.
Gentiles are actually the ones of our people that scattered among the nations. But in that time, they're gonna be basically like cleaned up. They're gonna know this truth, and they're gonna come to seek to be with the man of the Lord, to seek to be with the elect. It says, verse 2, there's a point. "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them, the land of the Lord Yahweh, for servants and handmaids." We're talking about how basically that the kingdom of heaven is gonna take you the other nations, and put your work. And put your work, and basically have it to where you do our every full of our every desire. You know, women, you know your role is, right? And you men are going to be out there to fill, man. And that's part of it. Ultimately, you had us in slavery. Okay, you had us like out here like looking horrible.
Dirty ass clothes.
Yeah, kind of right. It's going to be some of that justice the other way around.
So the scripture talks about our kingdom like the doors shall not be shut. Right? Bring in the forces of the Gentiles. Bring them in.
Yeah, that's right.
Bringing them food. Bringing them milk. Bringing in daughters. That's part of it too.
Top one.
Yeah.
Creme de la creme of the nation.
Yeah, and make sure they're virgins because they're, you know, you'll get kicked the fuck out of here if they're not virgins.
Well, we'll know.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll know. So if you try to present a woman saying she's a virgin, you just gotta read her mind. That's it. That's it. You're not gonna, you can't hide. Right, those days.
Yep.
When it says, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh, the land of Israel. That land is going to be destroyed by eventually it goes up again. And then the elect are going to come down and actually, once it's cleaned out, it's going to be rebuilt again, right?
That's right. And it's gonna take some time.
Yeah,
Right? We're gonna have you heathens pretty much with your forks, all the debris, right? All the pieces of missile, the houses, the dead bodies, right? The concrete, all that shit's gonna get out of here, man, because it's gonna be gold. That's right. Yeah. We're not gonna build over no dead bodies, but get all them shits out. Yeah, everything that's over there.
that's right. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
That's right. So it's gonna be a switcheroo. Right? Who's our oppressors? All your nations, starting with Esau, but all your nations are oppressing us, man. We're oppressed because of you. Right? When you go into these neighborhoods that we have, so-called have, what's going on in there? You have Moab in there? Right? You go into the store like, hey, they walk behind you. You go into the mall, try to get something, like they follow you.
Or you lose the mirrors in the top of the buildings.
You got Elam, right? You got Madman. He's in the neighborhood selling all kind of shit. Him and Moab. Right? You have the Arabs doing the same thing. So they all oppress us, man. They all come together. You know?
So it says Isaiah 30:12, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. Right? So you guys are trusting oppression. You guys are being oppressed by people, and you're trusting people that are oppressing you. Scripture talking about who's going to rouse up that lion, right? It's referring to Judah, right? Really Israel, right? Especially Judah, because Judah's the head tribe, right? Yeah. So, someone still has something.
Yeah, bring out Isaiah 34.
It's the book of Isaiah 24, verse 5. And it reads, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
That's right. That's these Edomites, man. Right? That's who the Lord, that's who the curse is for. Right. You know? But they're the one who has us in captivity, beating the bricks off of us. Right? They're wearing down the saints. Right? Every brother here is tired, man. Right? We can't wait. They have our people's minds corrupted. All I see is Israelites down here, man, being Sodomites and Gomorrites.
Whatever you want to call them.
Yep. Pansexuals. Two-spirited. Right? Pedophiles.
And it says, verse 6, the sword of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is filled with blood.
That's the missiles, read.
It is made fat with the fatness and with the blood of the lambs and goats.
So this is a sacrifice, man. The lamb and the goats. Right? That's you, and this is you other nations, man. Because this place is literally an altar. Right? When you're sacrificing something on the altar, you bring it up, you pretty much slit the throat, and you burn it to the Lord, man. That's the kind of sacrifice the Lord's gonna have in this place, man. Sacrifice in Basra, right? It's not just Edomites. Israelites are gonna get it too. Kurds are gonna get it, right? Rightfully so.
Can I say also, before you get that sacrificial animal, they are identify it. That's what they identify who the people are. Identify the Edomites.
Yep.
For the longest time, people didn't know where they were. I said, you gotta make sure you gotta just like continue like your block, try to sacrifice, pick it out, separate it. So you know you don't have to pick it out. Spring power, you have to be shy. In the weekend. Okay, I'm talking about people who come out like the Native Americans. On the other side, a bunch of those part of that sacrificial sacrifice.
Yeah.
So now you know.
This also goes with when the blood comes to the horse's bridle, right? That's the same sacrifice, man. That's in Basra, right? Yeah, it's a lot of blood, man. Right? And when you go into Zechariah, when the eyes come out, you know, like it's all a sacrifice, man. Right? It's different pictures of different prophets painted. Right? But this Isaiah. Yeah, Isaiah saw the sacrifice, you know, like this is what it is. That's right. You know, so all you people who are getting deported, you should be glad. That's true. That's very true. They're the ones who can't leave. Like Judah, man, and the ones that are born over in America. Like, oh yeah, I'm a citizen. I'm getting grants or whatever the case may be. These other nations, Syrian, because they all touch us, man. So they're all worthy of death. If all of us, the Israelites, or the Lord's people, we're worthy of death. So what about these damn heathens, man? Right? They all put their hands on us. Because everyone's here.
I was going to say, what's worse than death is torture.
Fine.
And it's slow.
Exactly.
Death is quick. I mean, the Lord can still make it longer, but it's still faster than someone torturing you.
Well, I would say this. When that missile dropped and that fire's, you know, sweeping, we don't know how long the Lord's going to have that little 10 seconds to feel like it's probably like
keep the spirit there too.
Yeah.
That's true. You keep the spirit in the body, right? So there's that too.
You know? You can be there suffering until he's ready, man. Yeah. We don't know what's going to happen. But we know you're going to be sacrificed. Yeah. That's right.
Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8. And it says, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, after the glory he has sent me unto the nations will spoil me. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye.
Right, so the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man, you're special in the Lord's eyes. Right? And you got ravished by these other nations. Right? So imagine someone rape your woman. How are you going to feel about it? Right? All these nations are guilty of that, man. Right? The scripture says in, I think, in the Apocrypha, what nation haven't had their hands in her captivity? Right? Every single one of them. Go back to Psalms 83. Right? All those nations are guilty. You know? Yeah, keep going.
So back in Isaiah 34, verse 6, and it says, The sword of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is filled with the blood, is made fatness, and the blood of lambs and goats, the fat of the kidneys of rams for the Lord Yahweh, at the sacrifice of Basra, a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
Right, so who's living in Idumea? The Edomites and also the Israelites, man. You're here. Right? The Lord brought you here for a reason. Slavery wasn't enough. Right? Because you disrespected the Lord. Stiff-necked, the rebellious, and you cheated on the Lord. Right? You commit adultery on the Lord. Right? Imagine that. The Lord pretty much changed your name, took away his name, right? Turned you into a bunch of niggas, brought you in a child of slavery, and still gonna drop that missile on you, man. You really pissed him off. Right? Overkill. Yeah, you can say overkill. Yeah. But it's not enough for the Lord, man. That's what's gonna make him feel good. Right? That's gonna make him feel happy.
It's the vent.
Yeah,
it's anger out.
Yeah, because exactly. Yeah. He's pissed off, man. That's the only way he's gonna feel satisfied. Right? You niggas to death because you've been doing this from the beginning. Even if it's all played out, that's how the Lord wants it. He's still pissed off. Exactly. Right?
It's like a father when you have children, when you have sons, and it goes off. Go and punish you, go by, and you have to go until you actually see if you can punish for it.
Yeah.
You feel like something's missing. There's an imbalance.
Yeah, because if you leave him to his own device, you're gonna be pissed off. So when you smack him around or punish him, you might feel a little bad, but at least it's out of your system.
That's the balance.
Yeah. 100%, that's the balance. So that's, yeah.
I was going to say, that's why, as you're the person that did commit the offense, you have to understand why this is happening. Right? And that's the problem. They're asking why are we going through all this shit, and you don't understand that you're defending your Father in heaven. So when the bad stuff happens, they get mad at the Father in heaven.
Right. As if they're innocent.
Exactly.
What? And it's mostly these women that are asking these stupid fucking questions, man. Right? Where were you? Where was your God when you were in slavery? He was watching. What you think? Like, you keep forgetting the word God and what it means. It's all power. Yeah. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Right. Right? It's like how we turn into a degenerate asking stupid questions. You know? This is what really pissing me off. Because when like they give credence to other gods, whatever the Elamite gods, because other people are switching all over the place. When it comes to God of the Bible, it's all disrespect, man. Right? Straight up disrespect. Yeah. Why would you let evil happen? Because you can. Yeah. And our people fucked up. Yeah. And you punish people that fucked up. You have your children, we're known as children of Israel. We have a father, man. We have a heavenly father. So when you disrespect him, you get fucking punished. Right. And that might come in the form of your children being slaughtered in front of you. Yep. That might come in the form of you coming over here in the slave ships. Yep. But watching your wife being raped. Yep. Yeah. Right? Your sons getting their heads lopped the fuck off. Yep. In front of you while the nations feed your flesh. You never know what the Lord has in store for you, man, when you disrespect him. Because you don't know what most of the time the scripture when we go up, sometimes it doesn't really say what their consequences are. Like in the time of Adam, when the nations took over from Adam, we don't know what they went through at that time. They probably went through the same, not the slave ships or anything, but when nations take over, man, they try to embarrass you.
Yeah, it's true. Little details they don't really go into. Yeah,
that's why King David said, when he sinned and messed up, when he did the census, pretty much saying, let me be in your hands, man. Because if I'm in the hands of the heathen, you know what they're going to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think King Saul actually, when he was out on the battlefield, he actually chose to
die. Because he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, but that's true.
They were going to embarrass him, man.
That's true. Yeah.
They were going to, like, parade him around. Yeah. Right? Yeah, Conner, he's already dead. Because he was, remember, he was well known for killing. He was a Philistine slayer, man. Yeah. Right? If he was known in Israel, just imagine what he was known as to his enemies. Right? He was the #1 ox, man. When you catch a ox slipping, nah, you're
not gonna do it quick, man. It's gonna be slow.
It's gonna be slow, and in front of everyone too. You're gonna be walking around naked, shave your fucking beard off, right?
I was gonna say, did the same thing to Samson.
Exactly.
They got him. Samson obviously he was like, I'm not fucking this, I'm not doing that. But they got him. They cut off his hair, right? So they poked out his eyes. They made him work at the mill. He had no eyes. I think they said he was working at the mill. Right? Who knows if he was naked? Who knows what he did not? They put him out onto the poles. They put him sport from all the people. We got Samson, the killer of our people.
Probably touch, you know how Hamite said probably touch his dick.
Yeah, they did all this weird shit.
You know what I'm saying? He has to just take it, bro.
Yeah.
You know, because even when the time of in Babylon, when we were running, when the king, I think after Babylon was taken and the king tried to run, when the nations caught him, they fucking poked his eyes out, man. Poked his eyes, because that was their tradition back then. When you know, it was I think the Babylonians. I think that's what they do, and they got it from the Assyrians. Where they put your kneel down and you get the sword and you just poke the fucking eyes out, man. Right? That was their thing. So imagine what he was doing. No eyes. You're gonna get embarrassed. So it's better to die. That's what King David said, man. It's better for me to be in your hands, Lord, than to be in these fucking heathen's hands. Even one day the man didn't want to be in their hands for one day. Right? Yeah, because like we're a perfect example. We got embarrassed. You have Edomites doing weird shit to us, man. Remember when like hardcore slavery, they would fuck our women in front of us?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And the men.
They would rape the men. Derby dose, shitting our mouths.
What? You're doing that?
Yeah, man. Derby dose. Look up Derby dose. Yeah.
like they would put you like I know when you go to the fair and they have like that thing like
Yeah, con.
Oh, they didn't hit the baby or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Con.
Like it's like a fair and like it's like a game like you play, you hit
Right.
it, you're supposed to hit a thing like when it comes out, you know like actually like a big baby come out and then they hit a head.
Right. Oh, right.
That's called African dodger.
Con.
That's what they use for RPG in
Yeah.
Hollywood anyway.
Exactly.
A good example was that rapper Meek Mill, and he had that millionaire who was on the tennis court, he was hopping around like a bunny. So that same humiliation,
Yeah.
that's exactly
It doesn't stop.
what the nation.
Yeah, when they're happy in captivity. That's what them niggas deserve it because they don't want to live in a simple life. They want to go to work and, you know, they want to be on top. You can't be on top and fucking slavery, man. Exactly.
This is the book of our first Maccabees 2 verse 8, and it reads, "A temple is become as a man without glory. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men in the sword of the enemy."
Con.
This is what I'm saying. Verse 10, "What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom, a guard of her spoils? All her ornaments are taken away, but a free woman she's become a bond slave."
Yeah, exactly. That's what the nation do when they imagine this. You're at odds with these people for years and years. You're watching the kingdom flourish. Try to take them down a couple of times, nothing happens. And now you get the opportunity to take them down. You're gonna fucking embarrass their king. You're gonna kick their men in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Same thing the Romans did when that's why they made those coins, the Judah capital coin. Right? There was a part when you see one of the Jake on the ground, two Jakes actually. They're both tied up, right? They're pretty much heads down like this, and they're sitting on the floor, man, on the ground, because you know sometimes like yo, nigga, like just sit down here, we're resting, we're walking back to fucking Rome, right? You're pretty much a trophy. Show the people what we got, man, right? So I understand why King David said that, man. You know, I'd rather fall into the hands of the Lord than to be in the hands of these enemies. But our people don't get that, right?
That's what some people like. That time with the mountain of peace, once again, systematic, rather be in the house of the Lord, really like whether obey that the heavenly Father,
Right.
and then basically than be in the hands of peace. Because once you take that chip, you're really in their hands.
Right.
They control you, they control your mind, they control everything about you. So like there's nothing that you can do to you don't know like
Yeah, I think it's Messiah. Zedekiah? All right.
Yeah, so basically like once you get that mark, man, like you are basically like you are in their hands, man. Like, that's what you can say on in your hands, like your hand is given. So like who knows how many things who knows like how far you're gonna have that chip in you.
Fine.
They can control like probably like how to
Zedekiah. That is 2 Kings 25.
That's why, like, if you're in the hands of the enemy, use the two examples of Saul and Samson, right? One, I mean, everyone can have the, I say one took the coward's way out and one took the manly way out. One fell on the sword like a coward. Right? Because at the end of the day, you got to take your licking. They take you to torture you, that's your line. Right? He committed suicide. That's what he did.
God. And you have to understand too. Yes, he did take the hard, easy way out.
Yeah.
It's not,
It wasn't easy
it's
though.
not
That's
easy
not
to kill
easy.
yourself,
That's not easy.
especially with a sword going through your fucking heart.
Yeah.
Right, but at the same time, remember, King Saul was also a patriot, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
It's a hardcore, like, I'm an Israelite kind of thing. I'm like, I'd rather die than
Which I understand that too.
yeah, in the midst of these fucking, remember, they were cutting off their foreskin and shit, man.
Yeah. Which goes to the point, yeah.
Yeah, bro, they wanted him,
Yeah.
right? They wanted him, so he knew what he was about to get.
And I'm always speaking from my
Yeah,
point of view because I wasn't there. I'm not any
Yeah,
of the
hard.
sword, so
Yep.
that's why I'm looking at that. And I look at Samson and like he died too, but he's like, okay, I'm gonna take my enemies with me.
Alright.
If I'm gonna die, you guys are coming with me. I'm not gonna die and you guys not. I'm telling you die with me.
Because the Lord could have had mercy on Saul too,
Yeah, exactly.
right? The Lord could have had mercy on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, but the stories are good for us to look at. Like, okay, well, at the end of the day, when we're in that time where the enemy has us, because it happened to a lot of brothers, as long as the Lord's with you, you'll be fine. You want to hope that the Lord's with you. So like what happened with Samson, he still keeping power.
Yeah.
To take down his enemies. Right?
Right.
I wouldn't want to go like Saul. I wouldn't want to go that way.
Got it?
Follow the sword? You're talking about sword you follow?
Yeah, something is square.
Yeah, you're square. Yeah. I think it wasn't that. He told the square to do it, and then Saul did it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the square was like, I can't do that. Because he would have been easy to find too, because he had that
armor.
Yeah, the armor is
Yeah.
different than everybody else.
Yeah. Got it.
Second Kings, right? 25.
Oh, I got the one in Jeremiah.
39?
Yeah.
Either way.
Okay.
But the one Second Kings, 25 or 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it says, Second Kings 25, verse 4. And the city was broken up, and all the men of war fled by night and by the way in the gate between the two walls which were the king's guarded. The Chaldees were against the city round about, and the king went the way toward the plain.
Yeah, so there was the Israelites were siege, man. Right? And this is prophecy. That this beast is going to come up against the Israelites, man.
Yeah.
And they didn't understand, they didn't really believe when Jeremiah was telling them, like, yo, it's time. You guys are fucking up. Surrender, man. Right? They look at Jeremiah as a sellout. You know, knowing that the Lord is dealing with this man. Yeah, Khan. Read.
It says, verse 5, and the army of the Chaldees pursued after the king and overtook him in the plains of Jericho. And all his army was scattered from him.
Right. Because he had his little, he had his bodyguards, right? Rolling with him, but they were scared.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Spirit of the Lord wasn't on them to fight. They were scared. So that's why they fled and left their king, because you're supposed to fight with your king until death, man. You know what I'm saying? So those men, if the Spirit was on them to run, that's it.
Yeah, verse 6. So they took the king and brought him up, the king of Babylon, to Riblah.
And they didn't just walk him up. Okay, they were probably like kicking him in his fucking ass, right? Whipping him, right? Ripping his clothes off, right? Throwing rocks at him, spitting at him. You know what I'm saying? They probably had, they had him in chains, dragging him. Both hands probably running behind the horse.
That's real. I can see it in my mind. He's like that when you see those movies when he got him, right?
You know what I'm saying? Let's go, nigga.
Yeah.
Right? You're talking all that shit. Here we go. We're gonna take you home. We're gonna make fun of you. We're gonna spit on you. Throw fruits at you. And then you already know when the gate opens, everyone's just there watching.
They're waiting.
Waiting.
Yeah, they're waiting.
Because the news is gonna come back that, oh, we already won.
Yeah.
We got these guys, we have their king coming through the gates. Right?
To add to what you're saying, that's what people we also have to remember, which I always have one of the stories, you have to look at both sides. Right. We went into Mashad, right? And we took the land. We killed their people, so to them, we're the villains.
Right.
We're the people that came and fucked up their lives. They were living, they were prospering, we're serving something with God.
So we took Jericho.
Yeah. Right?
We took Israel.
Yeah.
The same thing.
So we're the villains in their stories. They have their books, it's like the Israelites.
Exactly.
Israelites came in and they killed us. When we killed our chance something, we're fuck them up. That's what
right.
the Lord created that.
It has to be like that.
Right? It makes a good story.
Because and it has to be like that because when Israel goes out, that's why the Lord have the nations there too, man.
Yeah.
That's his steward.
Yeah.
You know? He's not gonna come down there physically and put a foot in your ass. He's gonna have the nation that he made.
Yeah, exactly.
And also the Lord always stirred up all these different nations. Like the moment Solomon went off, you see all these different nations, they were starting to like come at Israel, man.
It doesn't look like food.
Judges, exactly. Oh my Lord.
Back and forth, man.
Midianites.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Back and forth. Like 7 years you'll go into captivity over here. You get out, go back again. And here we are. It just kept getting longer and longer, man.
They're the whipping slot.
And then I realized later, I'm like, wait.
So Syrian will rot up my anger. I shall send you as a hypocritical nation.
That's right.
The Lord always uses other nations to,
Right.
as a rod of correction for us.
Right.
But today, so far gone, they don't see.
Yeah, they don't. You know?
I acting like the heathens. It's like when you talk to these two birds, they're worse. They're actually worse because you're malfunctioning. You're not supposed to be wicked.
Yep.
You're supposed to be the righteous. You're acting like the wicked. You're doing better than what they did in wickedness. You're trying to be better than them in
Bring
wickedness.
the flavor in it.
Yeah, so it's like,
And it says, verse 6, is the point. It says, so they took the king and brought him to the king of Babylon in Riblah, and they gave judgment upon him.
Right.
And they slew the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes.
That's right. Yeah, so it wasn't just him, right? His whole party, his sons, right? Probably his daughters were there, right? The whole family was there. Like, oh, this is a prince. This little princess, man, right? And you know, like they probably had their different weapons, right? Bust their fucking head open. You know, it's real hate, man. This is war.
that's right.
It's the casualties of war, right? They probably cut their heads off, probably torture them first, and in front of the king, they're crying, because that's your child that you love, the children that you love, well protected. They never even know what the fucking falling down and getting the script on their hand feel like. They're princes, they're well protected, man, right? And now here they are getting killed, man, getting beat up, slapped, because they're pussies. You know, they don't know what struggle is. They might know how to fight or whatever the case may be. You know?
Not real adversity.
Exactly, no adversity, man. And at that time, you know, they were fucking up. So you know they were definitely feminine.
It says, and they put out the eyes of Zedekiah and bound him with fetters of brass and carried him to Babylon.
Right. So they branded him. Right? You're now our property. Right? You're our possession. And then they're gonna have him there. Right? He's gonna just be a waste man. You know? That's how they embarrass us, man. Right? And then we went into that captivity for 70 years. Right? So he died there. Eyes put out. I'm not sure they cut off his big toes. I could be wrong. I think we did that.
We did that, King. We did that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it was a well-known thing back then. Yeah. And they'll leave you. Okay. That's it.
They'll cut off the thumbs.
Have you walking on your fucking heels, man. Thumb, you can't pick anything up.
You can't pick up nothing. You can't.
Yeah.
Right? Pick up the thumbs. Like key thing.
Yeah. You're gonna pick up a knife like this and do what? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's gonna take you a couple of years, man, before that shit heals. But they'll keep you alive. They'll have their position. Put stuff on your fucking toes, on your thumb, on your leg, you know. But maybe they wouldn't. They're just if you fucking dies. Right? War, man, our people, they don't know what that feels like, man. You know, they accept the embarrassment. Right? When you're in a kingly state of mind and the rulership you're over these nations and you get caught, right? It's the same thing that they went through when they were beefing on the west coast of Africa. And those other tribes catched them. The Hamites catch them, even as some of the other Jakes. I was reading accounts where they'll cut their heads off and eat their flesh, man. Yeah, the Hamites are doing that. Yeah. So the captivity didn't just start with Esau, man. What they were going through with the tribal wars and shit. Because, you know, like the kingdoms, it's the same thing that was going on. They were besieging each other. So when they go into the wars of the Benin Empire, the Mali Empire, and places like that, man, they got bloody down there. Right? It was years of in-house fighting. These Hamites hated Jake because Jake was prospering down there. Right? And they couldn't wait to team up with Esau, man. Oh yeah, when you read the book of Negroes too, that's just one account. She tell you where she was walking through a village. They were throwing tomatoes at her. cabbage, and then she ended up having a period for the first time. Yeah, Aminata. Ended up having a period for the first time. Shit run down her legs. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't a joke, man. It's a real embarrassment. So they're gonna have to go through the same shit. Your kings and queens of this world are gonna come in fucking in feathers of iron. They're not gonna give a fuck like this. Yeah. Edomites will never work one day in their life, man. Yeah, remember when it was Game of Thrones when Cersei captured that girl?
Shame.
Yeah, her hair was cut off.
Exactly, man. Yeah. And when she got revenge on her enemies too, when she got those girls that killed her daughter, when she had them in chains, and then the Euron Greyjoy guy, he was on his horse, and he's like yanking them and shit, and then they're like, that was my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes. That's how you Edomites are gonna come in, man. Right? When the angels come and kick those fucking and box those, you know what? No kicks. And box those fucking those underground bunkers, doors down, rip their locks off, right? And yank you out of there with the elect. The elect are gonna yank you out of there, man. We're gonna know who you are too, right? Have you fucking walking weird? Because guess what? We're gonna do all kind of shit, right? You might even cut your toes off. Have you walking on your heels while getting dragged with fucking iron, man?
Whipping you in the back.
Exactly. Kicking you in the ass. Right? It's gonna get weird. Not in an Edomite way, but it's gonna get weird.
In a righteous way. I got a quick script. It's Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, "Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart." Right? So, like, I read it earlier. It said, what's it called? Pretty much the children of Israel trust in oppression, right? But the scripture say, oppression make a wise man mad. That's right. So you can see that the 2/3 are not wise because they trust in oppression. Right? They have no problem with Edomites ruling over them. They have no problem with the people being shot in the street. They have no problem with them trying to come back into Babylon after being kicked out. Right? So they don't even realize they're trusting in oppression, trusting in the shadow of Egypt. Right? But the ones that are wise, who are the ones that have been fully woken up to this truth, we want to get the fuck out of here. That's right. We don't want to be here.
And you mentioned the gift.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like our people, man, they're in captivity and they're oppressed. But as soon as they give them a little bit of money, that's it. That's what Esau had to do from time, man. He learned the game late.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have these niggas, a little nigga from the hood have money with, like, with the cell phone, the money cell phone. Yeah. That's all you have to do, man. That's it.
Simple.
Just give them money, bro. They're gonna do dumb shit with it.
You get it back.
That's it. You learned that in the 80s when he started letting Jake sell drugs to his own people, getting money, or whatever the case was. That's a gift. That was a gift right there. Right? When you watch these entertainers, that's all they get, a gift. They might get a little mansion over here. Right? Puffy got a gift. Always talking about fucking Central Pay, France, right? Talking about Cabo. Wherever. Those are just trinkets, man. Yes, little fucking crumbs. Crumbs out of Esau's table, man. Right? Exactly. So our people, that's all you have to give them, man. Like, because they don't have anything right now. The gift destroyed their heart, but that's not gonna work for the elect. Right? Your little fucking gift's not gonna work. Right? You can drop millions on the table. Your 501c3 charter is not gonna work. Right? Because that's a gift. Nate got a gift. That's why you can't call Yahushua's name. You can't say Yahweh. Right? All these, listen, it's not just the entertainers. It goes within Israel also, man. Because even Judas got a gift.
That's true. Yeah, 30.
Right? Pieces of silver. Right? And he realized that this ain't shit. I don't know how much millions that would have been.
It's a lot. It's like plus part like the breakdown. It's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot.
Yeah, man. Right? So he figured out real quick. Fucking threw it on the floor. Right? Put himself to death. When you see our people, man, that's all, you know, because all the tribes, man, they're poor. All of us are poor. So when you see athletes getting multi-million contracts, you know, that's a gift. We can't talk about Esau. We didn't get no gift. We're not going to accept your gift. When you come to us and say, fuck off, man. And the ultimate gift, which is not a gift, is that chip, man. Right? All people are going to jump and take that chip just like how they took that little jab a couple of years ago. Because they're afraid to lose their houses, they have mortgages and shit, their jobs. Yeah, that dumb shit. Restaurant. Bitch, you need to fucking cook at home, man. Yeah, like little shit food that they made. Like you get, bro, you can make it at home.
I got another point. You mentioned something. Oh, yeah. So the gift. So even there's brothers in the truth where Esau's already tried to give him gifts. Right? There's brothers that mentioned where Esau's written them letters, Illuminati, right? Said, hey, we give you millions and millions, right? And you just come and join our side, right? And you know, but you can't, you know, talk about, right? You know, this and we're gonna change certain things. You can't use that name. Brothers in GMS, it's happening. We've done videos.
Yep.
So these guys, that's how you know how desperate they are. So we have the truth. That's how you know. The only difference between us, we didn't sell it like Nate.
Yep.
Right?
They came to him.
They came to him.
Took
Oh
it.
yeah, he took it. You can see he took it. He has a fucking sellout.
He was probably like so scared when he was sick.
Yeah.
Because they're like, shit, I'm gonna lose all my money.
There's a guy, Jeff, from One Body. He came out and said that he sold out. He said it himself. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, sold out. You know, because like, so they get like more money, go rich. They could, go pretty good. More blessings. That's what he said. That was his excuse. That's what else. Explain the truth to more people. Like, how do you, you know, that's my.
No one's listening to you, nigga. No one's listening to you.
You can't sell out and preach the same truth. It doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
When you sell out, that means you gotta say the bad. You gotta preach different. You gotta say,
You gotta say what Yahweh Shadi was in miracles.
no, yeah, exactly.
There's a bunch of weirdo shit,
Yeah.
right?
No, that's right.
You're gonna say the book of Hebrews isn't scriptural, right? And look what ended up happening to him, right? Because he was getting money, definitely getting money. All his clothing, merchandising. He was getting help with those. Trying to make fucking dumbass rap videos. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know they're sold out. A gift destroyed the heart, man. Doesn't matter how thorough you think you're gonna be once you take that when you take the gift. When you take the gift, you cannot be thorough. Right? You're gonna be a super Israelite now. Right? Start going to weird breakdowns, start to see the elect. Right?
Because Howard Shai is watching. He's like, oh, he took it. And he told Satan, okay, go to this guy, offer 2 million, 3 million, bonus, whatever, and let's see what he does. Right? They have their little bet, and then he takes it. He's like, all right, take my spirit off of that. That's it.
Yep.
Now you're forgetting the name, right? Now your name is Yeshua, right? Now, you know, the Gentiles can make it, other nations can make it, Esau can make it, the kingdoms can join hand in hand with us.
Yep.
Right? Because you guys don't fucking get it. The Lord, this is spiritual warfare. Yes, physical things might happen, but it's still coming from a spiritual force.
Right.
Right? So God might come and say, hey, take this money, just do this and this. Like, oh, it's not a big deal. It is a fucking big deal. It is a big deal. We're in spiritual war. You guys don't. That's why Apostle Guevara says all the time. A lot of you men don't really understand what you're involved in. Right? You don't really get it until someone drops dead in front of you. Then you understand. Right? So these guys that sold out. The thing is, the ones that didn't sell, we can see right through you. We know who sold out. It's obvious. It's fucking obvious.
That's right.
Right? You start changing the name. It's obvious you sold out. Why would you change the name, especially when you knew before?
Why are you changing doctrine?
Yeah.
Why would you say the mark of the beast isn't the microchip? Why? When you know it is. We're leaning into a digital world. Everything's chipped up.
Exactly.
What the fuck can the chip not be the mark of the beast? Right? The John saw in your forehead, because that's coming. Right? You see movies when they're like, you know, they have like, because now Elon Musk is like, he's doing he's doing like the forehead. I think the forehead. Yeah, Neuralink.
Someone that already done it.
Yeah. They have the back of the thing here, which I just learned today that here is electric or whatever. That's why you see certain movies they plug it in the Matrix is sure that you plug it in the
One of those neurons are in
Yeah,
there.
con. right? So all that's coming, man, right? Right hand or left hand, doesn't matter which hand, right? They can say, okay, right hand only. Or they can say left hand only, put it in the forehead, doesn't matter, right? It's man with machine. Fourth Industrial Revolution, leaning into the digital era, man. So the fact that you're saying that's not what it is. It's Christianity. It's sleeping with white bitches. You know what I'm saying? You're sold out.
And the thing is, even I guess we're talking about him right now. Like, you have blood on your hands too. What has been reported that you had 21, 22 members of your organization die because you told them,
right?
Yeah, because of COVID. Because you told them to go take that Beetlejuice.
Save your job. You gotta do it.
It's like, and the way you phrase it is to try and cover yourself. You said, well, I wouldn't take it, but if you have to take it, then take it.
Because he's a piece of shit. Because guess what?
Take it or not.
He could have been supporting those people who need the money, man.
Exactly.
Because you have $115 million net worth.
Yeah.
You tell me you couldn't take out $1 million for your whole congregation that need help, bro? Right? These heathens are better than you, man. Because at least the mosque and what do you call it? Elamite temple. Elam. The Sikh temples and stuff like that.
I just read the name.
Yeah. Those, they be helping their people, man. They get loans. Right, that's their bank. The church is their bank. You should be helping your people, man. Because you just got a bank. Right? You have $115 million and you say it's not true. That is true, man. Right? So to prevent your people from taking that, if you really cared about them, you could have easily given them some money. Yeah? 1 million from the 115 million that you got, and then your bank account, that could have easily be shared out to all your congregation that's in need. You're a selfish nigga, man. Right? What does the scripture say about a niggard? Riches are not common for a niggard, man. That's what you are. You have scripture?
Yeah, I got a short account, a couple verses.
Right.
This in regards to the money, the integrity of our people. This is Nehemiah chapter 5, verse 15, and it says, "But the former governors that were in before me were chargeable unto the people, and I had taken of them bread and wine and 40 shekels of silver. Yea, even the servants bear rule over the people, but so did not I, because I feared the Lord Yahweh. Yea, also I continued to work on this wall, neither bought any land, and all my servants were gathered hither unto the work. Moreover, there were at my table 150 of the Jews and rulers, beside those that came unto us among the heathen that were about us. Now that which were prepared for me, daily 1 ox and 6 choice sheep, also fowls were prepared for me, and once in 10 days store of sorts of wine. Yet all this required not I the bread of the governor, because the bondage was heavy upon this people. Think upon me, O Yahweh, Bashmel for good according to all that I've done for this people." So essentially, during this captivity, Nehemiah was dealing with a lot of wicked of the upper echelon of our people that were oppressing the people who were more of the lower class.
Right.
And there were a lot of the people who were more well off. They were essentially pushing practices of usury, and we're not supposed to do that to our own people. So essentially, Nehemiah began to call them out, and he made them you can't do this, otherwise, this is what's going to happen. This is the judgment that's going to happen upon you, right? But the point is also, Nehemiah also had a sense of integrity, because he realized, okay, our people are being oppressed. I'm not going to further impose more oppression upon that, because he had a lofty position. And on top of that, he even actually went to help out the people who are more impoverished. So it's just to show the contrast between the leaders you're discussing versus our forefather Nehemiah, because he was actually trying to meet them at their level. Okay, yeah, your vineyards are being mortgaged. I understand this is what you're going through. Let me help you out. Let me not take the salary I'm earning doing this and further impose that affliction
Yeah.
upon you.
Right.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, durable.
And also,
Opposite. Sorry.
yeah, God, and also those, you can tell those men are the same men that came back in the New Testament, right? With the Romans, they had a lot of positions, and they were pretty much, yeah, setting out Israel, man. And they were the same niggas that was in the Greek Empire too, right? Going to Esau, trying to make covenants with him. Yeah.
Jason, one of the
God. And you have to be well known. You have to get honorable mention, man, in the scriptures. Wicked wickedness. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? See, listen, everyone in Israel know who you are, man. Right? All of us know Jason. Right? So he's back here today. Doing the same shit again, man. Sold out again.
Alazar.
That could be Alazar, that could be Nate stupid ass.
Jason brought in the hats and stuff.
Khan.
Alazar
Right.
did. Alazar did.
And he was a and Alazar was doing some Greek fraternity shit.
Yeah, it's a Greek fraternity shit. He was doing perverseness. Jesus is the one that brought the gym. And the theory is that Jesus brought the gym to see, because the gym knows they're naked, right?
Right.
Those gyms are naked, they're working out naked. So to see if which Israelites were not circumcised,
Right.
right? What was Alazar and what did he get taken down for? Right? It was perversion.
Right.
Right? So I'm just saying, I'm just connecting the dots. That's all, because reincarnation,
God.
right?
Right.
So, but either way, right? Whoever the person is, you're gonna know who you are, you're gonna take it out.
One more scripture. Sorry, lady.
That's true.
Really good
I got one. Okay, it says Ecclesiastes 7:2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay to their heart.
Right. That's our people, man. Yeah. Right. They love a party.
Yeah.
Juneteenth. Right. Every second they get to go and shake their stupid asses, man, they jump around. They'll take the opportunity. Right? And this is nothing new. The Lord, that's the difference between 2/3 and the hopeful elect. We're in the house of mourning, man. Constantly. Right? When you read these scriptures, put you in the house of mourning, man. But sometimes put you in the kingdom is at hand.
Yeah.
Right? So you're happy in a sense, right? We're happy to be over these heathens, man, especially Esau. We want Esau, right? So that's the difference between us and 2/3. 2/3 is always a party on bullshit, while the hopeful elect is contemplating on the kingdom and taking these heathens down. So with that, like to say our praise. Alright? Honors to the elders of Great Millstone who well. I'll say Shalom and Kwame Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.